If you're an INFP, you've probably comforted yourself with the lie that you're better off alone. Maybe you tell yourself that the real world and relationships are just too messy, that people won't get you no matter what, that it's safer to keep love and relationships as some beautiful, fantastical dream, or that you're going to get over attached. You aren't staying single because it's more rewarding. You're staying single because the real world execution and actions needed for dating, like the energy drain, the fear of rejection, the vulnerability that's necessary, feels too overwhelming to face. So I used to struggle constantly with this exact isolation loop. I tell myself that I didn't need anyone, but I knew that if I wanted to meet the person that is important in my life, that I'm going to have a relationship with, and if I didn't change how I was and my comfort with relationships, then I'd blow my chance when I got the right person in front of me and I had the chance. So I trained myself to go out every weekend. And I know not everybody wants to do that. It's fine. It's not for everyone. But I did go out every weekend to study the dating game, and I was doing it in a second language, in Japanese. I was dealing with massive energy drains from the clubs, from going out from like 9 p.m. till 7 a.m. And this constant fear of being laughed at or hated or dismissed because I'm a foreigner. Many different issues came up. And as an INFP who has been happily married for 10 years now, I'm here to tell you that the struggles of building a life and a relationship with someone are worth it. And the lone wolf story that you're telling yourself is probably just a defense mechanism. So, keeping love as a dream is like having this locked skill in a role playing game, okay? And you look at the skill tree and you see like the locked skill tree at the top is this 10-year deep relationship or 20-year or 30-year deep relationship. And we want it instantly. We constantly expand relationships in our mind. We meet somebody new, and the next day we have this whole relationship in our mind with them. And we want that instantly. But if you haven't put any XP or experience into getting these basic prerequisite skills like approaching, managing energy drain, handling rejection, expressing how you feel about things, then it's really hard to unlock that end game skill. NFPs want to find love. There's the fantastical romantic version where it just happens. And there's also this other version, which I experienced, where I had to go through the grind of these low level zones. I had to practice. I had to step into the real world for long hours, even when it felt clunky and I didn't know how to do it. And it felt like there were mobs and enemies everywhere. And there were some real life enemies. The environment was hostile in some certain circumstances. And I had to learn. And so the first thing that I learned was to acclimate to the energy drain. And it wasn't about waiting until I feel like going out or socializing. It was about treating my extroversion, my social battery, if you will, like physical conditioning. I had to accept that the initial phases I was going to struggle. Talking to new people was going to drain me. Just going out, I would get overwhelmed by the music and the sensory stimulus, and I would fall asleep in the clubs quite regularly, even the ones next to my house when I lived near Kyoto. But I knew that if I constantly showed up, that my capacity to handle that was going to improve. And that is the same for you. You will learn that actually you probably like extroverting more. Now, maybe not at the start again, but after time, you will maybe expect or anticipate what's in the box. This feeling of mystery, of new possibilities everywhere you go. And the second thing is to kill the single is safer myth. So stop romanticizing your relationship. Write down what you actually want in your relationship. If it were a perfect relationship, who would that person be? What would they be doing? What would your interaction with them be? Make it blunt, make it honest, and also talk about the struggles you face with being alone, the struggles you face in the relationship that you were to have, because real relationships require work. They require vulnerability, they require honesty, they require sometimes not expressing certain things, but other times expressing exactly how you feel about it and making sure that you work on the relationship together and do that with how things are right now as single in your relationship, or if you're in a relationship that you're not happy about, what are the struggles? And contrast that with the reality of a partnership. Of course, write down the good things too about being single, because there are good things too. Not gonna lie, I know that. But know that being in a relationship with a partner brings new experiences, it brings joy, it brings shared growth and connection and a teammate, an ally. And know that staying in your head also is costing you real world happiness too. If you stay by yourself, there are things that you cannot do in your life. And if you're in a relationship, there are things you cannot do too. So it's a matter of getting a clear assessment of the good and the bad and the neutral as well. And another thing that helped me was to know that when I met someone that I actually care about, when I had that feeling that this person is going to be important in my life, I knew that I had a limited window before that person was gone, before the opportunity was likely missed. And I needed to have some way of approaching them, of closing the gap, of getting to understand them, and sharing the best qualities of myself that I could at the time. So in those times, I forced myself to, and I don't like the word forced, I strongly urged myself to take an immediate practical action. And most of the time it was, I see them, I'm going to approach them, I'm going to talk to them. And I did that weird thing of practicing talking to people, practicing talking to myself, practicing my posture, my breathing, learning to seed expectations for how it's going to go in a positive way, just like a basketball player practices their shots. It's the same thing. If you practice positive stuff, your brain is going to allow you to do that more easily. And then practicing asking for their contact information or suggesting that, you guys meet up again at another time or see you at the same bar next Thursday or whatever it is. Or the library, or, I'm going to talk to you on whatever app is available now. I didn't have dating apps or anything like that. And this is a necessary step in closing, again, that gap to create the relationship so that you can at least figure out if you like it or not, as opposed to it just being in your head. And it might be this amazing relationship that you've created in your head, but you don't actually know. But if you actually meet them and talk to them and get to understand them and you have some sort of connection or relationship to them, then it's going to be easier to understand if you actually want them in your life or not. And if you're curious about the dark side of INFP love that nobody warns you about, then click this video over here.